As you've no doubt heard by now, the magic community has lost a legend, Martin Lewis. Martin was an all-around awesome guy and performed all kinds of magic, from stand-up to kids shows to close-up card tricks. And although I never had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Lewis personally, that is the beauty of this format, a lovely printed book leaving a lasting legacy for the magic community. This 320 plus page hardback beauty is Martin's Magnum Opus. Let's dive into some more about it. By way of introduction, this book is actually dedicated to Martin's father, Eric Lewis, who was also a magician and who wrote the first book of Martin's magic called Martin's Miracles, way back in 1985. In his own personal copy of the book, Martin's father, Eric, wrote that he hoped that book would not be Martin's last book of magic. 37 years later, here we are with Making Magic. So what is this book? It is about 325 pages of magic, 60 routines, none of them pipe dreams. Martin has been performing magic for cruise ship audiences, children's parties, adults, close-up, you name it. He's even created magic that David Copperfield has performed on national TV specials. He's tipping it all in this book, and it truly is a magnum opus. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, sadly Martin passed away this week. I've had this book now, getting to know him through its pages, through the tricks, the delightful magic that he shared with us for the last few weeks. I originally encountered Martin Lewis's magic when I was researching a trick. One of the references I found was to Martin's Miracles, his first publication back in 1985, published by Mike Caveney. I liked the material so much and became a little more familiar with his style of magic. So as soon as I saw that Making Magic was available, I purchased it. What kind of material are you going to find in a book like this? A little bit of everything, a lot like what I believe Martin performed. Technically, it's divided into two distinct sections of the book: parlor and stage, and close-up. Within the parlor and stage section, you're going to find all of the classics that you know and love, including cardiographic, as well as a cardiographic light, which is designed more for a parlor style setting and works better for that group than the larger stage presentation. In addition, you'll find his latest thinking and handling for Technicolor prediction, another beautiful piece of mentalism that Martin created so many years ago. That brings me to another interesting point about this book. You can tell that all of these pieces have been polished to their maximum shine through decades of performance, and you're getting all of that thinking and handling in this book. It's evident to me through so many small details that there's not a single pipe dream in these pages. Martin talks about the types of glue that you should use when you're making certain products, or the grit of sandpaper that you should use to smooth the edges. Yes, it's that technical, and he'll often tell you where you can acquire the tools you'll need to make the items in this book. And that brings me to a second interesting point. It's called Making Magic for a reason. You're going to need to put on your arts and crafts hat and make a lot of these props yourself. This is especially true of the parlor and stage section, although there are some things to construct within the close-up area as well. This shouldn't be seen as a turnoff. In fact, I found it to be a major plus for this material, because I often think that if you're willing to commit and actually make the props for yourself, you're far more likely to perform it, and it will mean so much more to you to be performing the magic with things that you've made with your own two hands. Now, not having seen Martin perform, I wasn't really familiar with his style, but reading the book, it's evident to me that he had a very charming and funny style that he gives to you right here with his own patter, jokes, gags, etc., which, although you should really come up with your own material, if you're just starting out, you're going to get everything you need to be successful within these pages. There's all kinds of magic in these pages, and frankly, I was surprised by how much mental magic or mentalism that Martin performed. As a performing mentalist myself, I could definitely see me taking some of these ideas and either performing them outright or using them in subtle ways in routines I already do. There are items with jumbo cards, predictions with torn newspaper, transpositions involving signed cards, close-up versions, as well as a signed bill to impossible location where the bill is found inside a locked strongbox, and then inside the strongbox there's another locked tube that contains the bill. That was a particularly great illustration to me of the details that Martin put into the book. He was known for being a craftsman himself and sold a lot of his own magic that he created and built, and here he's teaching you how you can make it yourself. Along the way and all throughout, you're going to find little essays about something that he learned or that he wants to share with you, or sometimes just a funny story about him, Harry Anderson, and the professor, for example. I thought this gave it a really warm, nice touch to the book so that you really do feel like Martin is sitting with you, sharing stories, and then telling you how to do his magic. I mentioned arts and crafts, but on the difficulty scale of things, nothing in this book should be too terribly difficult. So if you're an intermediate magician who's past that beginner stage, you'll have no problem performing these tricks. In addition to the stand-up material, the close-up section has a lot of card tricks, but it also has a close-up version of the magic square that you can use, as well as how to make your own inexpensive chop cup using some very organic props, a can of peas, and a couple of green balls. It's obvious to me that Martin loved quirky, offbeat magic that's different than what you're typically going to see. In short, there's a little bit of something for everyone. It's refreshing to see a well-known performer release a book of this substance late in their life. In the last few years, it seems like there have been so many performers who've rushed to put a book out and then just keep cranking the books out, versus a tome like this is going to stand you in good stead because you know that everything in it has been performed to the nth degree. So everything in here is worker. Now these workers won't come inexpensively. The regular edition of the book retails for $95, so it will certainly set you back. But from my standpoint, I think that a book of this caliber by a magician who is so well respected for all of their creations is definitely worth the money. I spent my own money on this book and I don't regret it one bit. Since Martin's passing, I'm not sure who's handling the business, but I'm sure the family would appreciate our thoughts, prayers, and sympathy during this difficult time. I'll add that this book reminds me a lot of Gene Anderson's The Book, both in the types of material and details that are in it, as well as the layout and the design of the illustrations. Although it's sad to think that Martin is no longer with us and we'll never get to experience seeing him perform or hearing him tell a joke again, I'm confident that nothing would please him more than for you to create, make, learn, and perform some of the magic that he is leaving behind in this delightful book, Making Magic. If you had the opportunity to meet Martin before he passed, sound off down in the comments below with one of your favorite anecdotes or stories about the man, the myth, the legend, Martin Lewis. If you already own this book and you're interested in more books like this, be sure to check out my review of Gene Anderson's The Book. As always, my friends, I appreciate you watching, and until next time, keep reading.